Hello students, good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you? I hope that you are in good condition, good motivation in learning, especially in English lesson. And now, welcome back with me with Riza Musaki at FES'T, Fun English at SMAS. Okay students, at this chance, a beautiful chance, we're gonna discuss about something that's relating with grammar. What exactly it is? Now, let's go to the screen. Well, here in this screen, you can see or you read yourself, there is a title, if you do this, blah, 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 you can blah, blah, blah. It is for English class 12, and then there are two skills that you should achieve. The first is 3.5 and 4.5. Now, before we go to so far about the lessons, that's better for you to know about the basic competence of cognitive skill. And the basic competence of cognitive skill in 3.5 consists of applying social function to researching language features of written and spoken interactive transactional text involving the expressions of asking and giving information relating with conditionals followed by imperative, can or should. This is uncommon discussions. Why I say that? Because when we discuss about the conditional sentence, means that this relating with the use of if clause and also the main clause that includes will inside. But here, even we still discuss about if clause, but the following sentence or the main clause will include imperative, can or should. Maybe you still have some questions in mind what exactly the purpose of the lessons. Now we go to the next is the indicators of lesson in 3.5 basic components of cognitive skill. The indicators are, the first is identify, so you should be able to identify. Second is modify. The third is, or the last is applying if clause using imperative, can and should in writing and speaking skill. We go to the next. In this next screen, I will show the detail about the example of imperative, modal can, modal should that is applied in conditionals. The first imperative, in imperative we say, if you see John, tell him he needs to come to my office. Modal can, if you have lessons, you can drive my car. Modal should, if the teachers have time, they should repeat the subjects. So they are the examples of each discussion that we're gonna do for today. The next is give you in detail discussion or detailed explanations about the use in imperative, modal, and also in should. Conditional sentence imperative. This type of consists of in clause and main clause consists in simple present. Then the main clause consists of imperative sentence or pair infinitive to give instructions to someone else. The example is, if you see John, tell him he needs to come to my office. So the if clause should be, if you see John, this is if clause, and then tell him he needs to come to my office is main clause with imperative. Imperative always preceded by the pair infinitive. I say here pair infinitive. So followed by pair infinitive. Tell him, say him, call him, meet him, other else. That is the example of conditional sentence in imperative. And this conditional sentence in modal can. This type of consists of if clause conditions and main clause consequence in simple present, while the main clause consists of the use of modal can to give permission to someone else. The example is, if you have license, you can drive my car. So if you have license is if clause, and you can drive my car is a main clause with modal can. So it is not only using will or maybe would or maybe would have, but we can also use can, imperative as well as should. And the last here, conditional sentence modal should. It is similar, but the main clause consists of the use of modal should to give advice or suggestion. For example, if the teachers have time, they should repeat the subjects. So if the teachers have time if clause, and then they should repeat the subject is a main clause with the modal should, giving suggestion to the teachers to repeat the subjects because they have time. So that is the conditional sentence. There is imperative, conditional sentence followed by imperative, and then conditional sentence followed by modal can, and conditional sentence followed by should, and they have different functions. The first conditional sentence imperative means that it gives the instructions to somebody with the conditions given. And then if the conditional sentence in modal can has a function to give the ability, to show the ability of somebody else to do with the conditional given. And the last is conditional sentence modal should has a function to give the instructions to someone to do while the condition is given. So that is the discussions, the short discussion of conditional sentence with imperative, can and should. Why I told you here in a short time, because the conditional sentence have it similar in form. But maybe there is a question for you, sir, can it is applied in past or type 2 or type 3? The answer is no. It can be applied in type 2 and type 3. Because why? Because the imperative, the instructions of somebody to do, it's a direct way. When the instructions given, the direct things that somebody else to do is based on the directions given. So it is the short time activity after the instructions given. So if we put at the past, it is impossible to give the instructions of somebody while it is in the past. As well as it happens for can and also should. Can is the function has functions to give permission to somebody else to do something, so or to give the ability of somebody to do. So it is impossible if it is happening at the past time. As well as modal should, this is suggestion, giving advice to somebody. If it is not, it can be applied into the past time as well. So both between imperative, modal can and also should can be applied in type 2 and also type 3 in conditional sentence. They can only be applied in type 1. Okay, that's students. I hope that is the explanations, the clear explanation for you to how to use this conditional sentence in imperative, modal can and modal should. Now we go to the activity of 3.5 in basic components of cognitive skills. Still similar with the previous task I gave to you. Here I just need you to match between part A and part B. Part A has some sentences and part B as well as some sentences. But it is possible if you match them 1 to A, 2 to B, 3 to C, no. But you should, this is in random, you should pay attention to part A and then which sentence in part B that is suitable for the sentence in part A. So you should do it more careful. This is the activity of 3.5 in cognitive skill. Do this at your paper and then capture it and then send it to the assessment box. The link I have given you before in this first semester. Now, okay, students, after we do for 3.5 basic cognitive skill, now I show you sorry, this is 3.5. It should be in 3.5. This is the additional on 3.5 task. Complete these clauses correctly. So if I have the sentence, if I have a if clause says if I am late for class, blah 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 blah, what you should do while the condition is something like that, and then you should use imperative or modal can or modal should. You may choose one of them. It doesn't mean that all of this sentence you should complete them with using only one kind of conditional, well, it is imperative or maybe it is can or maybe it is should, but you should combine them, you should make them in a similar position. So for example, the question number 1 to number 5 for imperative, it is only the example. Number 1, number 5 imperative, and then 6 and 10 for modal can, and then 11 to 15 for modal should. So but you can put them in random, not in something what I said to you. That is for 3.5. So there are two tasks for you for 3.5. The first is matching, the second is completing. And then on 4.5 also in circular skill, I have given the explanations, but I give you the task. But before that, I give the basic components of circular skill. It is there is also the indicators of these basic components, and the contents of basic components of circular skill is composing, written and spoken international involving impressive, giving relating with the use of imperative, can and should. Well, the indicator only one compose the use of conditionals in writing and speaking skill. Make the conversation, make the dialogue using conditional sentence in imperative, in can, and also in should. So I think that's all for you students for the activity of learning conditional sentence, special in imperative, in modal can, and also modal should. I hope if you have some questions, you may ask me in WhatsApp or maybe in Google Classroom. And if you have something deeply understand about what exactly the conditional sentence of this, you may come to the school. But remember, you still pay attention to the health protocol and stay the distance, and also wash your hand before and after the activity. I hope and you can get the healthier thing in your body, and it is a lot for you to go to the school and meet me. I think that's all, students. I hope this thing not difficult for you, and see you next time. Have a nice day with me, with Rizam Zaki at FES'T Fun English Class. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.